What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. Let me fix this fucking camera angle, make this shit fucking square. Okay, so I literally just got done watching a video by Matt Ogus, who is looking completely fucking shredded and peeled and fucking amazing right now. And he was sitting down with Eric Helms. I think that's his name. He's from 3DMJ, 3D Muscle Journey. Now, I watched this, it was called The Recovery Diet. And it's not the reverse diet. And I wanted to see what it was about, because I think that, you know, you should be open to learning new things all the time. And, you know, I learned a lot about reverse dieting from those guys. I mean, they were big into reverse dieting years ago. And I also noticed, you know, the things that I would say I got a lot of heat for. I got a lot of flack for because I did things differently coming into the YouTube scene. When I came into the YouTube scene, I was doing things differently than everybody else was. I was training differently. I was dieting differently. I was, you know, post-contest was different. All these things are different. I got a lot of heat for it from a lot of people. And here we are about 4 years later, and I'm starting to see things change. A lot of the other guys, they're not doing exactly what I'm doing, but they're actually doing things more like what I was doing all along than they were back then. Like, the volume has changed in their workouts, and they're reducing the volume. They're not going as low volume as I am, but they're, you know, going from the foods, the fast foods that they were eating and stuff. Like Matt actually switched from the Chipotle to making the Chipotle at home so he can actually control the macros and what he's putting in his body. And again, it's the best he's ever looked. You know, and now I watched this video about the recovery diet. And I'm listening to it, and I'm listening to Eric Helms talk about how basically he, you know, was using the reverse diet with a lot of clients, and he had like an 80% failure rate with it, which I found kind of interesting because I didn't know personally it was that high, because I know most people, they don't reverse diet. They just fucking binge. You know, even if they're telling you they're going to reverse diet, they don't. You know, even if they start off trying it, by the first week, most of the time, they're just fucking done with it. But I did a video that's probably up still. Actually, I didn't take it down, so it's up still, called the Anabolic Rebound. And I remember when I first did it, people were like, holy shit, I can't believe this works, or it's not going to work, or you're full of shit, or whatever the case may be. Now, mind you, I did take anabolic steroids, which changes some things a little bit drastically. But the Anabolic Rebound was this recovery diet. What I did was actually bring myself out of, I guess it would be a deficit. I didn't really count calories at that point, but out of a deficit so that I put body fat on very quickly within the first couple of weeks. But that first few days, I filled right back up with glycogen and water as much as I possibly could. Ate, you know, fast food, ate whatever the fuck I wanted, which basically put me in a caloric surplus for about 2, 3, sometimes 4 weeks, until I saw my body fat get to a point where I was really not comfortable with it anymore. And then I went back down to eating what would be more considered, I guess, maintenance. I went back to cleaner foods, which, you know, I guess if you wanted to put it like number-wise, it'd be more like maintenance. So I went from technically a deficit, which you guys know I don't agree with the whole deficit, and I go by the macros, and if it is a deficit, it is, whatever the case may be, but I count the macros towards my body weight, my muscle mass, etc., and then I add the carbohydrates into what's needed for daily activities, and fats to be, you know, healthy as far as fat-soluble vitamins, hair, skin, nails, etc., stuff like that. Then at that point, what I would do is actually kind of reel back a little bit, which would be about 4 or 5 weeks. And actually, some videos of me talking about it, and I'm doing other videos. I'm eating McDonald's, I'm drinking, you know, full sugar soda and stuff. And I would get bigger and fuller and better and better, and I would notice that I didn't want to binge. Okay, what would happen was I'd be getting bigger, feeling better in the gym, stronger very quickly. And then when I got to a point where you just kind of wake up one day and you kind of feel like, ugh, I feel fucking gross. I think I've gone overboard. That's the point where you start to pull back and reel everything in. And since you've had that 4 or 5 weeks to really just kind of, you know, eat unrestricted wise, you're almost ready to get back on a structured program. And that's what I would do. And I call it the Anabolic Rebound. And, you know, Dorian Yates used to do something very similar back in the day. And that's where I learned about it from, was the fact that he would actually gain the most amount of muscle after the competition than he would through the whole year. And when I sat down and started to figure it, it's like you're basically training your body into the ground and overtraining the fuck out of your body getting ready for a show. You do lose some muscle mass. You gain that muscle mass back very quickly post-show if you're in the gym training and eating like that, like in a really big surplus. But also the body's actually kind of rebounding past that point where you're gaining the muscle mass back from muscle memory and gaining new muscle mass. Even if it's only 3 or 4 pounds, you got to understand, within 5 or 6 weeks of your contest, if you're gaining 2 or 3 pounds of actual muscle tissue, you're going to look drastically different the following year on stage. And that's what it was. That's exactly what I did. I don't know what they're suggesting, Matt and Eric, as far as getting back in the gym and training, but usually after a show, Saturday night I go out, I eat whatever I want. I try not to go too crazy because my stomach gets really, you know, uncomfortable, and I have to take antacids and shit because I get the acid reflux and stuff. Sunday I kind of just do my thing. I like to have, you know, Subway, sandwiches, just random shit, nothing big deal. Sunday I take off from the gym. Monday, usually, I'm back in the gym. At the very latest, I'm back in the gym Tuesday. And I'm not in there like, plowing to full force. I'm in there doing active recovery workouts where you're stimulating the muscle, getting some blood in there, but you're not actually going all out. And I'll train like that for a week, maybe two, until I feel ready and I'm ready to push harder again. And at that point, that's when you'll notice that you actually start really gaining again, like the muscle starts to get harder. You start like actually gaining muscle in that period of time. So I just, I find it very interesting how I took so much flack for a long time, for years. People were just telling me I was a fucking idiot. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And so many of the, I'm not saying 3DMJ themselves, but so many of their followers came after me and came at me, just talking shit and telling me all kinds of fucking shit about I didn't know what I was talking about. And here we are 4 years later, coming right around, and they're finding out that this is the way to do it. And I'm like, that's already what I said. I said that 4 years ago, and I was told that I was fucking crazy. So I just find it interesting that, Eric actually stated that the research shows. He said the research shows. Now, I didn't look at research. I figured it out on my own over it's been 25 years now, so it's about 20 years of actual in-gym, competing, post-contest, all those things. 20 years of doing that time and time again with myself, with clients. There was never a study that I sat down and read and said that you should do this because you get better results. I just saw certain things happening over and over again and picked up on the patterns. And I took those patterns and created a protocol from those patterns. For me, I'd say that I would probably gain more muscle than, a natural person because I was on steroids. I was still on a post-competition to make sure that, you don't just cut your drugs off. You actually taper down off the drugs too. Like, it would be a little bit different, and you would probably gain more if you were on drugs than if you weren't. But the bottom line is, there has to be something said for experience, practical application, the things that you see over time and time again, and patterns that are happening over and over and over again, that even if there's really no research out there, or you can't find any research out there, if you're seeing a pattern of something over and over again over the course of 2 decades, that means that there's something going on. You can't just ignore it. I mean, it's not like Bigfoot, like somebody saw it and they snapped a picture and it's way the fuck out there. If Bigfoot literally came up to the fucking camera and said, like this, fucking 15 times in a row over the course of fucking 3 weeks, you'd have to say Bigfoot exists. That's not how that works. Why the fuck am I using Bigfoot as a, whatever. You get the point I'm trying to make, though. I think it's real interesting, and I'd like to hear more about actual research. If they're gonna, I hope that Matt and Eric actually put stuff up about actual research so I can understand why these things work the way they do, and not just the fact that they work. So, very cool video. Again, it's called The Recovery Diet. It's on the Matt Ogus's channel right now. I don't know if 3DMJ has it up or not, but it's on Ogus's channel. Check it out. biosafetraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biosafetraining.com is a blog. It's the Anabolic Rebound Bicep, and we're out.